Welcome to One on One. I'm Greg Bassett, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. We're back to Zoom this week. Pandemic fun here in the city of Salisbury and the United States. And this, as always, is my favorite show of the year because in just a few weeks, thousands of people will be coming to Salisbury for another edition of the National Folk Festival. So we've got Caroline O'Hare here with us today to tell us about all the fun and the great food and camaraderie that we're going to have here in Salisbury in just a few weeks. Welcome, Caroline.
Thanks for having me. And as always, I love to come on your show and slightly disappoint you. We actually are going virtual this year.
What?
We are taking our festival online, just out of concern for public safety and for health reasons, which obviously everyone knows. And we are really excited because we've created a weekend virtual celebration with different musical acts and Maryland traditions, apprenticeship teams, family area activities, lots of just fun stuff, special messages from people popping up throughout the video stream. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
So what am I going to do about the food? And am I going to get my T-shirt and all the things I look forward to? Walking the boot around to collect money? That's not happening for me this year?
Well, you can always donate to the festival. In fact, we'll have a bucket ask during the video stream where you can donate either on our website at nationalfolkfestival.com, or now this year we're going to have a text to donate where you can text FolkFest to 44321 and make a gift that way. So we'd appreciate any donations for next year's festival. That would be fantastic. But what you can do as far as the tasty foods is you can order your favorite meal from a downtown restaurant or Salisbury or local or wherever you are. Order your favorite meal, have it in front of you. You can cast the virtual celebration on your television in your living room, have it playing throughout your house, and just have a great time. As far as the T-shirts, email me if you'd like. I'll get you a T-shirt. But for the most part, we just want to bring that same joy and spirit of the festival to our audience, and hopefully we'll get it right.
Well, of course, me acting like adult is not exactly like a real Shakespearean role for me. I play into it really well. But I want to kind of share how disappointed we all are that the situation is as it is. You guys obviously have made the correct decision. There's no doubt about that. And I'm excited by this list of performers that you have here. This could, like you said, this could be fun. It's going to go on a long time, and I think we're really going to enjoy this.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And what I found really amazing is when the NCTA and the National Folk Festival put out the call to artists saying, hey, we're going online. Would you be interested in doing something for the festival, for Salisbury? I mean, hands went up all over the place. In fact, there was one artist who we didn't invite initially, and that person reached out and said, I want to be part of this. I had such a great time in Salisbury, and I can't wait to do some more. So that was pretty awesome. And yeah, we've got this incredible array of music that's going to be playing. We have polka from Alex Meixner, who is so excitable when he's playing, so like just, I don't want to say hyper, that's not the right word, but he has so much energy.
He's into it.
He really gets into it. It's like Soul Cycle polka. He's just so energized, and folks that are watching are too. You got Dalian Bradley, who's this incredible bluegrass musician from Kentucky, and
beautiful Middlesboro, Kentucky. Got to throw out a shout out to Middlesboro. Yes, great folk feature, a bluegrass feature there.
Yeah, and she's incredible. And then we've got a whole bunch of others, like we've got some Appalachian music from Riley Bogus. The Red Trouser Show is coming back to teach us how to juggle and actually how to make our own practice juggling balls, which is a lot of fun. We have Carnatic devotional music, sort of that Indian music.
I'm mesmerized by that. I just find myself like in a trance, like a cobra almost. It's just incredible when I hear that stuff.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and the sounds just are so soothing. It's these two folks from Cambridge, Massachusetts, who have not performed at the festival before, but who are part of the celebration, and hopefully we'll get to see them in Salisbury in the future. We also have a Bamba band, a Latin band, Los Pleneros de la, I can't say 21 in Spanish. I'm sorry, all Spanish teachers from the past, but it's De La 21. I'm so sorry. But they're a lot of fun.
21.
Thank you. 21. 21.
Los Pleneros de la 21.
Pleneros.
Which is
we're going to edit all that out, right?
That's right. When I'm in New York all the time at the 21 Club. Right there
okay. Fantastic. Yeah.
Not
so
really.
You're joking at Club 21?
Yes.
When you're, with all the wine and the
yes.
Cuban cigars and stuff. We also have Jerry Douglas coming and doing a special performance. He was such a hit at the Folk Festival, as well as Hot Club of Cowtown.
No, wait. Now, Jerry is a dobro master. I have no idea what dobro is.
Dobro is a guitar, but it's played a little bit differently. I believe it's a steel string guitar, and it's played flat on sort of on the lap, but it's really wonderful. Did you get a chance to see him last year?
No, I missed him. No.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty incredible. So you should definitely check out the celebration when he performs, because he is, he's just known around the world as the best of the dobro. In fact, when he was little, I think when he was 7 or 8, he went to a concert with his father and saw a dobro player and said, "That's what I want to do. I want to do that, and I'm going to be the best at it." And he did. We had the amazing Phil Wiggins perform in the past at the festival, and he will also be bringing that Piedmont Blues harmonica to the virtual celebration. He is working with a studio in Tacoma Park called Tonal Park Studios, and they've been really helpful in partnering with us for the virtual celebration.
Excellent. That's awesome. Who else?
We've got some New Orleans Creole jazz coming in from Don Baffy Trio. Dovey Thomason, who is a Lakota storyteller. She's going to be doing some family area storytelling, which I really like. And then obviously we had already mentioned the Red Trouser Show learning how to juggle. Another thing is the University of Maryland Extension group, who has always been part of our family area, is going to show our young friends at home how they can make their own harmonicas, because that was a huge hit at the festival. So they're going to show friends how they can make it with tongue depressors and rubber bands and straws and things like that. We also have Kenny Blues Boss Wayne, which is just a cool name. He's a boogie woogie piano player out of British Columbia.
Coming all the way from Vancouver.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we have, I think, 2 performers coming from Canada. The second one is a few of the members of this Cape Breton music band called, I think it's like Bloc. I apologize for not being able to pronounce that correctly. But they have the Cape Breton island in Nova Scotia. They have a very unique sound. So 3 of the members from that band will be performing. And like I said, there's lots of different things. We've got our incredible summer series with the Ward Museum. We're going to be showing those Chesapeake traditions throughout the day, I think on Saturday. And on Sunday, the Maryland State Arts Council, every year they have an apprenticeship team, apprenticeship teams selected through Maryland Traditions. And those teams will be showcased on our Sunday show, just like we would have done normally in the Maryland Folklife area. So we're trying to recreate, again, the spirit and the joy and the variety of the festival just online. We want people to engage and ask questions and post things during it. So we really are hoping people will tune in to our Facebook live stream so they can connect with artists and connect with other fans of the festival. I think it's a lot more fun when you're chatting rather than just passively watching. And I think that's another part of the festival that's so special. And you know this, when you go to the festival, you don't just sit in a chair for several hours. I mean, you can if you want, but you don't just sit there. You interact with people and you interact with artists and you explore. And that's what we're hoping the virtual celebration will be about.
We already talked about the red trials for sure. That's the juggling.
That's going to be a lot of fun. They said, okay, Caroline, they're going to teach our young friends how to juggle. They're going to use tennis balls and I think like t-shirts to stuff in the tennis balls to weight them, and then a knife to cut open. I'm like, hold on. Like, so kids, go get a knife. No, obviously adult supervision is needed. But I think that's really neat. I never knew that you did certain things to tennis balls to weigh them differently to help with your juggle practice thing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I never get to tell my harmonica story. My grandfather literally was on his deathbed, and I had been at a friend's house, and he'd given me a harmonica, and I had it in my pocket there at the nursing home, and I gave it to him, and he started playing the harmonica, and I had no idea that this guy did anything musical. But growing up, when they would have dances, someone had to play the harmonica, and he had played it as a kid, and it was just one of those, bluegrass things from the farm where people had to be able to play the harmonica. It was just fascinating to me.
That's really special. That's
So
really
now,
that's lovely.
So now when I hear a harmonica, I hear it in a whole different context. That was, a very primitive instrument that you could have in a rural area, and just mess with all day until you were able to play with it.
It's incredible what music and art and just other people can, how they can like flip a switch in you and just take you someplace else. I was talking to someone earlier about the festival and how, while we cannot create, obviously, the experience of being on the festival grounds, because when you're walking across the festival grounds, you run into people you have not seen in a while, or you're bringing friends and family to Salisbury and they've never been here before. And just that when you run into an artist that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm able to like talk to you about it. We can't recreate that, but we can make people remember that moment and get them excited for 2021. And hopefully we'll do that.
One of the things I've come to appreciate from the folk festival is the Maryland Traditions part, and having the Ward Foundation very involved. So it's not just a big music concert thing. There's much more going on. And that's turned out way different than I would have thought. That's been very instructive and very inspiring in terms of community. That part's been a great element to this.
Yeah, they had those really incredible iron workers, the steel workers last year that are from Baltimore that helped build, the Orioles, the gate,
right,
Oriole Stadium. And they have boat builders and mandala makers and Ethiopian coffee roasting and all these things that when you think of music or music festival, it doesn't really click in there, but it's so fascinating. Or oyster shucking, or all crab picking, and you get to meet these incredible individuals that they're known in their communities for this, and this is something, a tradition that they've carried on from their families and that they're passing down to the next generation. It's really cool.
Talk about the pressure and the angst that you all were dealing with and having to make this decision. What was going on during the spring?
I'm sorry to laugh about that. Talk about the pressure. This is, I'm going to speak for myself. I'm very lucky that I can continue working. I'm very lucky that I have the ability to shift gears and find a different way to present this festival to people that are seeking it out. As soon as this decision was made, we immediately started, so in early spring, we immediately started thinking of what can we do? How can we keep our festival friends engaged? How can we keep telling people, about the artisans in our area that you can shop online and please give to them? How can we promote artists? How can we keep that going? And so you started seeing that with like the Ward Museum's Chesapeake Traditions Today, which we partnered with them with the the Ward Museum, with Delmarva Public Radio, who's been doing these radio shows, with the Maryland State Arts Council at NCTA to bring out this 10-part series over the summer. We've been doing appreciation weeks, calling out all the people that help with this festival in all different areas. We've been doing Festival Fridays, all leading up. I mean, we knew we were going to do something for this weekend, building up to what would have been our festival weekend. So we have been, it's interesting when you come up with an idea and you're like, okay, now we have to do it. Now we have to figure this out. Now I'm like, I'm not, completely versed on how to do a live stream event. The folklorist at the NCTA, is learning, things about captioning and all these sort of things. So, but we adjust, we, do our research, work together, understand that things, we're doing the best that we can, and we recognize the hard work that everyone's putting into this. Something that we had a call out for messages, like people to send in video messages to throughout the celebration, and every single one of them was like, no problem, whatever you need, I'm here for you. And that's sort of what I've seen since we made that decision to push the festival into 2021, is people are like, all right, let's adjust, let's figure it out, whatever you need, I'm here for you. So I'm very lucky in that sense, and hopefully, next year will just be this incredible celebration where we can all come together and celebrate just joy and music and art.
Well, and not to hit on it too hard, but I get the question all the time, and I know you do too. Sure. People would say to me, because you guys sort of announced this pretty early in the pandemic process, mm-hmm. at a time when we all thought by the fall everything will be fine. And people are like, oh no, by the fall everything's gonna be fine. We don't need to worry about that. Why can't we have it? But people don't appreciate the planning that goes into this kind of thing. And you can't just all of a sudden decide, like in August, that we're gonna put this thing on in September. There's so much that goes into it.
There's so much. I mean, a few weeks after, right after the festival ends, we start putting out surveys to vendors, to like system supervisors, to team leaders, to volunteers, to all these different people, so that we can then have these very lengthy debriefs in all these different areas just a few weeks after. And then we start planning off of that. We had already, we had contracts out to, we plan year round. So it definitely isn't something where we're like, cool, we've got 30 days, let's throw it all together. It takes about a year to not only plan, the amount of contracts that have to go out and the call for artists and all that sort of fun stuff, as well as marketing. But then there's also fundraising. This is a free festival. We have to fundraise. We have to seek sponsorships. We have to do fundraising events. And in February, we stopped fundraising because that was not the right thing to do. It was all resources were needing to be directed toward flattening the curve, and we recognized that. And by the time we made the decision to postpone the festival, that was one of the reasons. Other than the months and months of planning that go into it, we also knew that our fundraising, it would not be appropriate to say, hey, I know things are tough and that people have lost jobs and people are very ill. Why don't you give us some money? So there are a lot of factors. There are a lot of people. We have crews and staff and artists from all over the country. None of them can travel.
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting. Every once in a while I'll get this, I'll get someone that will say something like, oh, this has been great. You must have had just a few months of vacation and stuff like this. I'm like, well, we have been working full time. We're just working from dining room table now. I also get the added benefit of having a 5-year-old coworker with me the entire time. So it's been a juggle, as it's been for everyone. So we're trying our best. This definitely is not something that can be thrown together in a month or 2 months or even 3 months. And we realized we were announcing pretty early, but we also didn't want to go down the road with contracts and deposits, knowing that it looked like we were going to have to take that back. So before we did make that decision, we had actually spoken to several of the other festivals around the country, like the Richmond Folk Festival, Lowell, our friends in Butte, Montana, Greensboro, who are part of this family of festivals. And we're like, what are you guys thinking? And they saw it happening. They saw what was going to happen. And it was just a matter of like, what can we do? How can we adjust? And when are we going to actually announce this? So, Greensboro held on for a very long time. And in fact, I'm not 100% sure that they're completely virtual, but they had a lot of really amazing ideas. They have different infrastructure there too. But it was a tough decision, and it was the right one.
Right, and what you're talking about there is Greensboro hosted the festival right before us.
Yep. And now
it comes to us, but they have their own festival now that's modeled on the National Folk Festival.
Yep, they have the North Carolina Folk Festival, just like we will have eventually the Maryland Folk Festival.
Interesting. Again, it's such an incredible event last year. I had you on, I think in February, we were on to talk about the first round of acts that were going to come, and then like a week later or 2 weeks later, we had to make the pandemic decision. You had to make that decision.
I think it was even later, actually, because I feel like we did it in April. But it was February, when we announced the artists in February, I actually had gone on a trip with my daughter to see family in California. A trip that we would not have taken if there was an issue. And at the time, I think there were maybe 20 cases in the entire United States, or at least, so it was, and they weren't where we were going and this whole thing. And that quickly escalated. So we started talking about it in February, and we know we had just made this announcement. We were very excited about this announcement. But it started, it started to grow, and we started to wonder, like, what happens if everything's great, everyone's doing well, but then in the festival there's one person that finds out that, what are the protocols? What's the responsible thing to do? So we made that very difficult decision after talking to a lot of people and getting their input. And it was just, that's the way that went.
Yeah, the fall is always my favorite time of year. Sunfest is canceled. The beer and wine festivals here in Wicomico are canceled. National Folk Festival, we're not going to have that. All the things I really look forward to in the fall are going to have to wait a year. But it's going to be okay. I still remember how great last year was for the Folk Festival, and I can't wait for next year. I'm excited to have the National Folk Festival and not be on our own again one more year. That's really exciting to me.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm excited for the virtual celebration in a couple of weeks. I think it's going to be great. I'm also excited to see there's a sneak peek of a documentary about the 80 years of the Folk Festival, which was obviously supposed to premiere this year. But now with what's going on in the world, that's become part of that narrative. So they are including what we're doing with the virtual celebration in that documentary, and then releasing it next year. So we got interviewed for that last year, and now we get to be part of it this year as well.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of really neat things during the virtual celebration. I really hope that you'll join us during that. There's a lot of fun stuff, and I always appreciate your support. Salisbury Independent has been a proud sponsor of the festival, and we are very thankful for that.
No, and we're way more thankful for you. So again, you mentioned WSCL, so it's going to be broadcast on that, which is tremendous. But give me the dates and the times. We're going to post it all. What's the website? How can I find out more so I'm completely in the loop on this?
Totally. It's actually from 12 to 3 on Saturday, September 12th, and Sunday, September 13th. It will be broadcast past performances on all 3 Delmarva Public radio stations. So you can tune in and listen to some amazing music, as well as interviews that Nick Spitzer did from American Roots with those artists when he was at the festival. And then from 3 to about 7, you can watch the virtual celebration in several different ways, either on our Facebook page, the National Folk Festival Facebook page, or on our website at nationalfolkfestival.com. You just click on virtual celebration, or you can even watch it on YouTube on the National Folk Festival YouTube page. So there's lots of different ways that you can watch it. And I'd love to hear what people are thinking. So join the chat, have a lot of fun. Cast it on your television screen so you can have it playing in your house. And we look forward to virtually seeing you on the 12th and 13th.
It's Caroline O'Hare. We're really excited, undaunted by what's going on in our world right now. We're still going to have a National Folk Festival in a different form. Keep it top of mind, keep it aware, participate. This is really fun. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent Newspaper. Another edition of One-on-One right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and One-on-One. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.